guys.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
As he breaks out in
Hello. I don't know. That's all I got.
That's all you
That's
got.
That's all I have. Like I can do a couple of bars. That's about it.
Don't get me to do that because that ain't gonna happen.
I can sing for like a little bit, but not enough to finish a complete song. Except for like a few, like a couple of country songs and a couple stuff like that. I can kill, but
Hey, look, I joined.
hi ho. Oh man, my phone's up here. It's on Spotify still.
I don't know. On that Spotify.
You want to play any of that music? We'll get taken down in a second.
What's up, Charlena? How are you tonight?
Charlene, what's up?
Thank you for us.
Yeah, we're just getting everything situated, making sure we have everything correct.
It is the usual Follower Friday. So the show is your guys. We'll share some stories and stuff as well. But we want to hear some of your stories, events, anything happen, anything. It's like that anything day. Pick your poison today. Pick your poison. Yep, just chilling. Yeah, we've been chilling on and off all day. We've been listening to music down here. And you can't see it in the background, but to my, would it be my left is a hammock that Tyler put up. And I was chilling out and taking a little siesta before the show.
Yeah.
With listening to music he introduced me to. So
yeah, I've got a hammock that I put up originally because we were down here for a tornado warning, and I figured I might as well have a place to sleep since I had the hammock down here already.
Right.
And then I kept it up because I wanted to test the durability, because it's one I want to use for when I go out like camping and stuff. I can just throw the hammock up instead of setting up a full-blown tent, so
it holds my fat ass up.
Well, it's pretty solid.
It's pretty solid.
It's made out of the same material they make
Joe,
what's up?
Sir.
Yeah, it's made out of the same material they make parachutes out of. So
oh yeah, I had to adjust a couple times, but I was out in like a couple minutes listening to music. I mean, it wasn't a deep sleep. It was just one of those meditated sleeps.
Yeah, just don't know.
There's still in the house slightly rocks you, not to a point where it's too extreme. So we were talking about the hammock Tyler set up to my left over here. So, and how I was taking this little meditation nap before the show, listening to music down here. We've been pretty much down here almost all day, except for in the morning.
Yeah, most of the
afternoon and evening we've been down here.
Yeah, I was working on some stuff trying to get the computer right, but I would say probably since like 1:32 on, we've been down here on and off for a good part of the night.
Pretty much, Charlene, a cat nap.
Yeah.
It was one of those.
Oh, definitely. Just a small little thing to kind of keep your mind relaxed.
Had some pizza from Pizza Hut, and I guess that had a part to do with it, but
food coma can definitely kick in.
The food coma, it was a part of it, but not enough to knock me out where you have to kick me out of there. We go flying.
Yeah.
Get up. What? Is it time? Oh, shit.
No, you were definitely up before I got down here, and we
No, I heard you come down here. I always have my mask. Looks like I was going to rob the postal
like an old West thing where you're robbing the postal service.
Yeah, because I went to CVS to get some stuff to ship. Looked like I was going to rob. I joked with the guy. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm a nice guy. I'm not going to rob you. I guess it's a new norm with all these masks. I got a nice, cool one that looks like a skull face on the bottom. So I guess if you're a robber now, you can get it. They think it's, he just protected himself. No.
Yeah. They're not as afraid, but that's
no, they're not as afraid.
Hopefully nobody's going out and doing that kind of stuff.
But I kept it safe today. Make sure everything was done.
Shalina said she did her nails. It's like, hey, you got to keep yourself entertained and keep yourself occupied.
Sorry, these nails don't get done.
Yeah, I need to trim mine a little bit, probably.
The only time I got a manicure was before me and Jen's wedding. That's it. Because I had mechanics' hands. Those things were deep. They had to bleach my hands to get all the dirt out.
Yeah.
That was crazy. It was like, what are you doing to my hands? I'm not used to this. This is weird. But anyway.
So it is Follower Friday, and we want to hear any kind of stories from you guys. If you guys want to talk about any kind of paranormal stuff, if you guys want to talk about some ghosts, some cryptids, some aliens, any kind of stuff like that, whatever you guys want to talk about.
Hi, Neil. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, what's up, Neil? So we're talking about plenty of different subjects like that tonight.
Oh yeah, it's your guys'. It's Follower Friday. So
yeah,
your stories. We'll share some stories as well.
Well,
but we'll why don't you go ahead and do the tarot shuffle?
Let's get the shuffling up. But while we're shuffling up for a second, why don't you talk a little bit about some of the stuff you've been doing this week? Just give a hint to some of the stuff you've been visiting and the places.
People that have been bugging the crap out of me.
Oh, you know how it goes.
Oh my Lord.
Hi Don, how's it going?
Hi Don. Hello, welcome. I figured you might like our show. Welcome.
So anyway. Yeah, go and talk a little bit about some of the places you've gone this week. And I was,
oh my Lord, yes.
I was inside doing some stuff on the computer side of things and the editing, but
that was yesterday. That was Thursday. While he was editing and stuff for best of this week or last week. Which one?
The week of the 12th to the 17th.
So that was the third week, wasn't it?
Yeah. Before the issues, yeah. I'm not doing the week we had the issues, so I'm just going to continue on with this week. Yeah. So we're going to have that week of the 12th to 17th, and then we're going to have this week we just did.
I'm losing track of having so many shows.
Oh, it's well, and we had so many problems for a little bit, and I figured it'd be best to move past those and just continue on with the stuff.
So while he was doing at home the editing, I was out in the field, actually filming for both, for the paranormal YouTube and the Facebook and my personal YouTube as well, which leads into our investigations and whatnot and ideas for a future investigation.
Yeah.
The first one, I don't know if some of you joined me yesterday on the Facebook Live. I did it from the Boston Cemetery, which is pretty much people call it Helltown Cemetery. I'm so tired of that legend already. We want to say the truth because people believe more of the legend than the truth. But we've been talking about this milling it back and forth. How the heck did a rumor like the legend like this start in that little town? I'm wondering. Is the stories passed down to scare people away from? I don't know. It just really fucked up. Where did some of these come from? Because some of them, 99% of them aren't true.
Yeah.
Not at all. They did take their land away in 1974 in that Boston Township area. Yeah. But
well, and we've gone out to a lot of these locations multiple times, and we've been to some of the bigger locations. We've been to some of the less known locations, and each time we've had some interaction, but not with anything that's ever been discussed in any of these legends, and not to anything of the degree of some of these legends, you know. So that's why we
bullshit legend.
That's why we do our own investigations to try to break up the reality from the legends, because unfortunately, when a place is just dripped in legends like this,
Hi, Tyler's mom.
It overshadows and it overcasts the actual reality of any kind of locations that actually may be haunted, because people only want to experience the things of the legend. They're not looking for the reality, you know?
I talked about this yesterday. Someone aired a thing about the Helltown. It was all totally false. It was a major television show.
Yeah.
And everything was so actors in wrong locations. It was crazy. People started to believe it. I forget which one what she was on. Here we go, sir.
Well, real quick, and we'll go ahead and pull our card for our tarot pull.
Well, everyone's saying hi to each other. Go ahead. Do your guys' thing.
Well, Perfect Trust Productions over on the YouTube
Gwen.
sign. Yep.
Gwen or
made
Vanessa.
It here. Hi, Gwen. Perfect Trust Productions. So I'm guessing that's somebody in association with her. Yeah.
Haunted Road Media as well. So they're all.
Yeah, they're all checking us out. Thanks for checking us out, guys. And if you guys have any questions or any kind of comments and stuff, it's Follower Friday. So what we're doing is we're looking for stories and any kind of experiences from any of our followers, whether it be something that has happened to somebody the town you live in, or an own personal experience. We really appreciate all the stories. So here we go. We always pull a tarot card at the beginning of our show to kind of give some kind of insight, some kind of intention for the show. And it's always been a good part of the show because it helps educate us,
Tanya says, hi, guys. Hi, Tanya. Welcome back.
Ooh. It's the lovers in the reverse position. So let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick.
Anyone tonight how's our sound? We just want to know how's our sound.
Yeah, we've been changing some stuff up
We
on the
changed up
mic.
the settings on the mic. How are we sounding right now? I got a feeling someone is following me. Joe's already starting it up, man. He's already stirring up the chat.
Okay.
Someone's watching me, but that's a good remix.
So the lovers in the reverse position is... Oh, man. Oh, I hope this is an inability to overcome trials, meanness, frustration, hate, and jealousy. Someone else butting in on a relationship and destroying it. Untrustworthiness and divorce. So I don't think we're dealing with any of that though right now.
No, but probably to put that in perspective, remember I was talking about some of the negative on my YouTube about the sound and all that, and that dislike. And,
yeah,
and I was
that's been a disruption because it's definitely rocked around in your brain a little bit.
That's why I had a different the video recording because everyone was, and that brings me. I don't have too many dislikes. If you don't like a video per se or don't like the subject, don't watch.
Yeah.
I always hated that dislike button on YouTube. I don't know why they put it there, but
well, we'll take that as a
that way. Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll move past that because, we talked about it. We talked about it earlier before we started recording the show. You and I have dealt with a couple of different negative opinions from people and stuff in the past. So we've learned to deal with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It happens.
It happens.
So
we change stuff up, use different equipment. I mean, we've been talking about upgrading equipment, and once we get like I said, our finances, we'll get some better equipment so that way you can hear us. I know you can hear us now because we got a bomb-ass mic right here.
Yeah, we got the Blue Yeti. It's one of the most common mics in any kind of podcasting and any kind of like YouTube or streaming services. There are other mics that have kind of stepped into its place, but I think the Blue Yeti is still one of the most common mics used out there. I've had this for a couple of years too.
The card means that Charlena has arrived.
Oh, well, Charlene, we're always glad when you come in because you always contribute to the conversation, and you always have something interesting to talk about.
Shoot. Junior Leo's watching. Tracy says hi, hello, Tracy. Welcome back. Welcome to Follower Friday, guys. Share your stories, events, anything, or bogus legends that are overblown, like Helltown. Come on. Oh my God, every little kid. Because I post some of my pictures of my explorers, and I put them on my Facebook as well as like an album. But people I put these of abandoned cabins near the Helltown area. I call the Jade area most likely, and people go, "Where is that? Where is that?" Like kids in the candy store. Where is that? Where is that? Calm down, people. I'm sure it's gonna be there tomorrow or the next day. Watch my video. I bet you can get a pretty good idea where that is. Well, I even mentioned it in the video.
We've talked about it before, though. It's like one of those things where we've gone and approached locations and stuff, actually found locations ourselves through deduction and
we didn't bother anybody.
Investigation.
We asked one time, then if they don't want to say anything, it's fine. Some people don't like to share locations. Now I see why.
But there's never been a location we've seen on film where we couldn't locate that if we wanted to. You know?
Or like this cemetery, little old cemetery in Peninsula, Ohio that I found that I'm going to talk about later. I'm going to take this guy to one of these days. That it's something out of even creepier out of a scary movie because it used to belong to it used to be a private cemetery of that farm.
Yeah.
Then Church Diocese took it over in 1869 and buried their members there. Then after it just so sad, there's only says it's 21 plots. What I walked through that yesterday, or is it it was yesterday. I keep forgetting it's been so long. I couldn't count 21 plot markers. Some of them probably been knocked down. Vandalism. I mean, it's so sad that certain people can't be remembered anymore because their plot marker's gone or memorial's gone.
Yeah.
because of people like that, or they can have been lost to the ages or whatever, or someone stole it, which it would be very sad. Why would you do that? But
It's unfortunate for sure, and going over and looking at this, Perfect Trust Productions was saying, totally understandable about the equipment. You're always upgrading all the time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I definitely, you got to always be working on your equipment.
I used the camera that's filming us right now yesterday.
Yeah, so we're always trying to have the best stuff working for us, because we want to make sure we're providing the best thing, with it being our investigations or the show. Even just the show, we want to have a good thing for you guys to look at while we're talking.
Charlena has something for us. Our local college has see, I can't read tonight. Has a haunted story. Shepherd College dormitory has a haunting. A nursing student hurt herself, and people see her walking in and out of rooms of the top floor. I know I can't talk tonight, Charlene. Those fat fingers getting away sometimes of typing.
No, I really enjoy those kind of stories too, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because any kind of stuff like that, it's always interesting. And over here on Perfect Trust Productions was saying, that I'm a believer that there's some truth to legends, but there's also over exaggeration for views purposes. People are drawn to moss like a flame with the fakers.
So,
and also he said, we're still using equipment that we're using for when I started BPI 5 years ago. True story. And that's the thing, is that like we have some equipment that's been around since the beginning, but we swap some certain things out to try to get better quality.
My fake GoPro. I think that mic is dying on that. That's why sometimes on my videos you don't hear me as well, because I don't have it. Like, I can't keep it up close like that. Maybe I should wear that harness thing. Maybe it'll be whatever.
Well, I think we're just gonna have to upgrade at some point, But we're always working on that kind of stuff. We've used what we've had, and we've done a lot of investigation with what we've had, and gotten a lot of results.
And I was going through the voice recorder today. I mean, the first part, it was from the Boston Cemetery, Helltown Cemetery, for all those people that like legends. The first part, that voice recorder picked up a helicopter coming in on the
Oh yeah.
So that
loud.
silent EVP session was to not. But once we got to another prominent name in that area, which is Stanford, and that Stanford house still stands, and they use it as you can camp out there by the barns and whatnot, or spend the night inside that old house they have. Actually, we'll be looking into it more. We're gonna bump up the audio and whatnot. But we heard some unusual sounds that didn't sound like the rest of the day. I mean, those two videos are up on our Facebook page if you want to check them out. I mean, you probably can't hear, but when we listen to the voice recorder, the second EVP session, we'll let you guys know.
And what's up, Tanya? I'm glad you're joining in.
Hey, Tanya. So that was my story. That's one of them. The other one was that finding that cemetery, lesser known cemetery. I was just looking through the name of Jade through Find a Grave, and I happened to stumble upon this smaller cemetery that I never knew existed.
Yeah, and it's along a hiking trail, right?
Yeah, it's a hiking trail, and they left it, and you got a walking path down the middle of the old cemetery.
Yeah.
And there's just a little marker right there.
So. And it's pretty amazing, You went out and you were finding these locations, and you were looking at a lot of the stuff. And, even during the day, you had a certain presence while you were out there, and that's always fun.
Cemetery.
Yeah.
Because I filmed there in the cemetery where the guy was mowing his lawn. So I waited till he was done with that way I can share with you guys live on the Facebook. Because I film for both pages. I'm a busy guy like this guy is. We're always trying to keep the fresh content going. Even I put a little small 2-minute video on the actual Boston church meeting hall that I fortunately couldn't get any further because it said no trespassing, but I caught the outskirts of it. It was just a short little 2-minute video on the Facebook as well. And I did share something on Facebook about, there's a great article in there about, you can click it on the page about the Helltown legend, and this debunking everything, just literally everything. Shitload. I can't believe the list of legends in that area.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well, and it's so funny because, you know, throughout history, people have been able to exaggerate stories even before it was so easy to just like manipulate a web page or something to make a story seem real. You know, we've heard stories in the past of people utilizing like boots with certain creatures' footprints, like as the sole of the boot, or the not the sole, but the rubber of the boot, so that it would make it look like that creature's walking through stuff. You've seen people use like, you know, toys and water bottles to make the Loch Ness picture. You know, the most infamous picture of Nessie is
Yes.
actually a fake picture, and it's well
Yep.
known now. You know, and so many things like that. So, you know, people have always found a way to exaggerate and manipulate things to make results happen. And that's why we stick to always the most raw content we can, because we don't need to fabricate results. You know, we're trying to find the most realistic results or completely debunk if we need to, you know?
Oh, and another thing, I was searching through Helltown on the Facebook. There's literally a page called Helltown, and it's like a tourist thing to get people in because they know the legend. They're using that legend to get people in, which is kind of shameful, but I know you need tourism. I mean, you got 2 ski resorts down there. You don't need all that.
Yeah, like one of is the most popular ski resort in northeastern Ohio.
And what makes me kind of sad, because over this whole Helltown area, I think Jade gets overlooked a lot.
Yeah. And we've been out there a lot and had some of our best experiences out there.
Yes, and I always keep my eye out when I'm going through the Helltown area, walking that road, and I was looking behind me. Yes, it's kind of that legend creeping in my head. Where if there's someone behind me? Is that place probably haunted? Yeah, there's a lot of sadness and stuff that went on during the time that the residents got kicked out of their own homes.
Yeah.
There could have been deaths in there we don't know about or not recorded. But there was an energy. There is an energy to that place. To Jade, to Boston, to Helltown. Heck, even Deep Lock and the Everett Road Covered Bridge are not too far from that area as well. That's all right in that area.
Yeah, and it's a place we've hiked through multiple trails around that area. We've investigated multiple locations, and it seems we're always finding something interesting around that spot, you know, and all through a lot of the areas we've investigated, you know, whether it be something that's technically paranormal or not, we found a lot of stuff that we've talked about, and we have a ton of videos out now at this point of us talking about different investigations, about you know, places we've visited multiple times.
Yes.
So there's a lot of different things out there we've talked about.
Oh yeah. Oh, my favorite bogus legend from the Helltown area is about the cemetery. Someone said they witnessed a ghost stare into existence. What'd you do? Stare at a ghost in the face? Sitting on a bench? There's no bench there. I'm sorry. And plus, there's residents around. You cannot go there at night. So if you're going to investigate that cemetery, you have to do it during the day or in the evening before it gets dark. There are strict rules, and people know about that. And it's kind of creepy because that cemetery is built on a hill.
Yeah.
It really is. It's on a hill. So the road goes up, around, and back down.
You know, Perfect Trust Productions was saying, you know, the thing to decipher is what's being caused by our own psyche and what is communication from the unknown. And that's why, you know, we talk a lot about having somebody with you when you investigate, because sometimes your mind just might be playing tricks on you. You know, the Ghetto Boys have a great, you know, song about that, you know, mind playing tricks on me. And it's interesting what the mind can do to somebody. But when 2 people are out there and they experience something simultaneously, that's a different story, you know?
And people are like, or let's talk about like going to a certain location. Did you go inside? Did you go in? And my rule is, even it goes with investigating as well, I don't go inside an area that I have permission to unless I have a buddy. If I'm doing a solo explore or investigation, I'm playing it safe. You never know what's going to hurt you out there.
Yeah.
So people's like, oh, I'm sorry. I follow strict rules when I go out on a solo. And that's just how I am. People might not like it, but you know what? You're not me. I want to keep myself safe
Yeah.
when I'm out there by myself, because you got to.
Well, you never know whether it be something in the physical or something in the spiritual, what could attack you in a location.
Oh, exactly.
It could be animals, it could be people, it could be some kind of specter or spirit, some kind of demon. I mean, usually it's not something like that, but you never know what's going to be
Or
in that
that very
location.
ass woodpecker yesterday. You can literally hear it in my video. As like, and I even joke about, no, that's not a Bigfoot. No, it's just a very loud woodpecker making his home and nest. But and I don't know if you read that. Charlena's comment: Ghost of Shepherdstown is crap bogus. None of that stuff was real in that show. I believe it.
Yeah. And a lot of stuff's out there like that, and Perfect Time Productions was saying, first off, a staring contest with the ghost, you'll lose every time.
Oh yeah.
And then having a reaction the same time someone else is with you is a good confirmation. And I definitely agree with that, because when we are able to be out there together and experience something simultaneously or together, that's definitely way better.
If we hear something or we sense something, and if we're near, we ask each other. It's like, did you do this?
Yeah, was that you?
Was that you? Or,
yeah.
Exactly the point. Just like Squire's Castle.
That was a big part where we were
That was
definitely
a
checking on each
big
other.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're checking out, collaborating with each other's stories. And let me tell you, it's great when you have a buddy system.
When we've been working together for so long now, with the years we have under our belt together, where we don't even have to really check up on each other. We kind of know where we're at.
Yep.
And we only interact when we really need to.
We're good enough distance where we don't contaminate each other's whatever we're doing at the time.
And we know to be quiet when somebody else is doing something important,
That's why you hear me call it sometimes a silent session or silent session and EVP session, because you got to be silenced. You got to be quiet. I know you got to get those questions out early. Then like 3 or 4 minutes is a good time frame. Maybe 5 if it's active that night at a certain location. Yeah, Charlene, I have to look into that Shepherdstown one and see what you're talking about, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, media overblows certain things, bar none. And that's what it's sad, because it kind of ruins it for others that want to find the truth. And some of the people are not interested in the truth. They want to investigate the legend, which is not even true. It's like people, we're after the truth. I mean, that's why we kind of dedicate, we dedicate the whole Helltown, that area, to finding the truth, because we want to find the truth.
Well, we want to separate the truth from reality, because, there is some stuff going on, and there's a lot of, legends that are perceived as true just because a number of people have gone out there with those kind of things in mind and then experience whatever they were talked about, but only because they, in their mind, were already kind of thinking about whatever was talked about,
Oh, yeah, exactly. So I would never go alone. Yeah, Tyler's mom. I've gone, but the thing is with me going alone, since sometimes he can't come, I always have my knife, my Gerber, my military Gerber, old school, because I'm old. The flashlight, and I always have something in the backpack just in case everything. And another good tip: if you have your phone on you and not using it, make sure your location's on and the volume turned up a little bit.
And always let somebody know where you're going.
Oh yeah,
and give them a time where it's like, hey, if you don't hear from me at this point, maybe send somebody or alert somebody to my location, because one of the biggest myths out there is that if somebody is missing, you can't report it for 24 hours. That's not true at all. If you have good reason to believe that somebody's lost or somebody is actually like in danger, you can report that and the police will look into it, so
it was good. What, 4 or 5 hours I was out yesterday?
Yeah.
Like 6 different things.
And I was, aware of where you were doing, what you were doing, so I knew if, there was a certain point.
You knew I was in that area of the
peninsula. And I knew if a certain point where you didn't come back, I'd be like, okay, I need to start worrying about what that dude's doing.
Because I was driving around because I know everyone's out because there's nothing really else to do in certain park areas. There was that I was at Warden's Ledges, the area with that cross and that old bar that was crowded. I even drove by our favorite covered bridge, Everett Road covered bridge. That was crowded.
Yeah.
The parking lot was full. I mean, that's what it's like. You know what? I'm going to go to this lesser known cemetery, and bingo, bongo, there was no one hardly there except a few ones walking on the trails. But that was about it. And there was only one park there. It's next to the Happy Days Lounge out there, just past Peninsula, off of 303. If you're from Ohio, but
Yeah,
it's in Peninsula, Ohio, just off our major route 303, which is not too far from us.
Yeah.
So it's right next to the Happy Days Lounge, which probably was the old farm, the Cassidy farm.
And over to Perfect Trust, you talk about like they debunk about 85% of what they find, and then talking about keeping yourself protected. They were deep in the woods at the middle of the night, and their buddy Looper had his sidearm just in case. And they're not gung ho; they're both trained professionals in sidearms and stuff. And it's definitely one of those things where if you're in the right areas and you either have your CCW or your concealed carry, and you have any kind of permit to be carrying what you're carrying, it's good to have a piece on you because even the wildlife,
wildlife can be
you don't know if
a little rowdy,
some rascally coyotes or coons or something like that, or some kind of even deer can be a little bit rowdy sometimes. You never know.
Hi, Ann. Welcome.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, you got to keep that protection. Oh, I watch episodes 1 and 2 when it was on Amazon Prime. It's there when they went to Ireland. The Perfect Trust. They have a channel on YouTube now, which we follow now.
Yep.
From our YouTube, and I follow both of them on Facebook as well. Check them out. They went over Ireland and stuff.
Gwen and we've talked about Ireland a lot. Yeah.
I know, we want to go over there too. That intrigues me so much. And I'm sure Gwen over there at Perfect Trust has a lot of stories over there because they were over there filming for their series, their season 1.
And I agree with that for sure. Anybody who says they're not afraid, that's somebody who you got to worry about a little bit because you got to have a certain level of fear. I mean, I know when I got to a location, there's always that like baseline level of fear, but that's also part of the thing that drives me to keep on investigating is that fear of the unknown because it's like, okay, if I'm this afraid of something, I need to explore and have more knowledge about it,
I even went out before I showed you that bridge, I went there by myself. And
yeah.
There was a level of fear. I'm always watching my back, even for because there've been possible Bigfoot sightings around the area. You gotta watch out for the wildlife as well. You gotta be really careful, and that's why I kind of have my a couple Kniefs actually in my gerber that I carry with me if I'm gonna go. I still bring it with me when this guy's or someone else is with me.
Oh, I always have. I mean,
have it.
I grew up in the country, so it's very common just to have any kind of just small flip blade on you at any time,
Oh, Tracy
and something heavy in the backpack to whack things with.
Oh, that like big old flashlight.
Or I carry my hiking stick, which I'm training the bow staff,
Or pick up a walking stick and there you go.
Yeah.
Tracy I had to call in late to work once because a deer wouldn't let me get to my car. Boss laughed his ass off. I have my CCL now. Bring on deer.
Dude, deer, man, they will punk you out.
Oh
I remember I actually have a video on my phone where we get deer in the backyard all the time. Mm-hmm. And I walked into the backyard and the one deer started to stomp their foot at me. They're like, nope, you're not coming back any farther. They were definitely trying to punk me out.
Dude, and when I was leaving that cabin part, the creepy abandoned cabins, I heard a bunch of wrestling. It was a bunch of fucking squirrels fighting over a nut. It's like, dudes, calm the fuck down. You're acting louder than you are. They always do. They always walk so loud. And
they can make a big ruckus for sure.
It was like, what's going on over there? Are you fighting over fucking food? Tracy, good meat. Yeah, it is. Deer meat is good.
Venison is one of my favorite for sure.
Oh, God. Even that jerky. Mm-hmm.
Oh, venison jerky is the bomb, man. That can get you through a whole weekend of hiking. Just venison, jerky, and some water, man. You're good to go.
You're good to go. Oh my God. Okay, guys, we've been babbling on and whatnot, And of course, Gwen from Perfect Trust, who's joining us on the YouTube, throwing out some comments and questions and whatnot. Any other stories you guys want to throw out there?
Well, Perfect Trust was saying, like you always keep a knife on you at all times and be careful of the deer because they will kick your butt. And that's definitely for sure.
Especially the males.
Yeah, they'll beat the. Oh, well, that's okay. So, and I've said this for multiple years. I am more afraid of a buck than I am of a coyote, even most wolves, even in some cases a bear, because a bear normally, especially if it's a bear coming into the northeastern Ohio area, it's probably going to be a black bear, which will most likely run away from you because they don't want to interact with you. But a buck will gore you to death and just walk away. That's something definitely.
You step on
I fear a buck. Yep, I fear a buck more than I fear the spiritual realm, more than I fear. I mean, the only thing I fear more than a buck out at these locations is other people. Because you can't. People are unpredictable. So
like the ones that came up on my butt behind me when I was at the paper mill.
Yeah,
up that creepy path. Dude was literally right up the same creepy path. It's on my video. The dude literally comes up behind. Oh, I'm sorry, am I interrupting your filming? And he come right. I pretend I was filming something else. I didn't record him sneaking under the fence hole.
Yeah,
and
we don't
trespass.
We don't do that trespassing.
No. And those cabins that didn't say no trespassing, I didn't go inside because I'm by myself. I wasn't trespassing. I was admiring the beautiful. It looked like cabins, out of a horror movie, like something Jason or Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
It looked like some of those cabins because next to a ski resort, like getaway cabins, because they had two nice brick fireplaces right there too. It probably was a beautiful area. It's too bad it went to shit and people break shit. God, irritates me when people do that. Joe's frustrated that he saw the videos like people breaking shit for no damn reason.
Yeah, it's really bad when people go into a location and they feel like they got to desecrate or mess with the location. It's not fun at all.
That's what I'm hesitant sometimes to share because what are you going to do to it? You going to kick down the door, break all the glass, throw the freaking door into the water? Why? Why you must have feel the need to ruin such a beautiful piece of property anywhere? Or like in Molly Stark, all those penises drawn in the main
there
hall.
Was over 10 to 15 like penises just painted everywhere. It's like, why do you gotta I get it, graffiti's fun, painting penises is fun, but at least if you're gonna throw up something, at least throw up a banger piece. Like there were a couple of pieces in there that were actually fun to look at, but the simple
maybe they were drawing
crude,
something they don't
5-year-old penises, that's nothing, man. At least throw up a banger piece. I don't know. It's so silly.
It is because it was such a beautiful entrance in there. The high ceilings, the beautiful high cathedral fireplace. The
nice cathedral style,
lamp
all those vaulted ceilings and stuff. God. It was just so amazing.
Sorry, guys, we're babbling on. We want to hear some of your stories. This is how we feel right now. I mean, we're just sharing that. We're just being us. I mean.
And Perfect Trust was saying, can't stand vandals, and that's exactly right. I
can't stand vandals so much.
I
know Joe hates them, and he's in there to chat.
Yeah, if you want to throw something up, throw it up on the side of the Key Bank building or something. Don't be taking care of all these old locations and stuff. Leave those to the people who just want to explore them.
Oh, Tracy, I did go to Moundsville. This is from Tracy Glover. They were filming, and on the other side, they painted over the prisoners' art just for a TV show or something. MTV did.
Really?
It was. And even the tour guide said, on this side, this is not even the prisoner's artwork. It was meant for a TV series. Someone just redid the whole.
Wow.
Thanks,
so they
MTV.
Painted over the actual art from the prisoners.
Yes.
Wow.
And Joe says, those are Vienna sausages drawn on the walls. I guess. They're
Vienna
making
sausages with 2 olives.
Joe, we appreciate you, brother, man. You're so hilarious, dude. He's always, I know about that, Moundsville. That kind of pissed me off when the tour guide told me that story on the other side.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you do that?
It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary.
Yeah, on the other side was some beautiful prisoner artwork because they left that alone.
And think about like we were in, the Ohio State Reformatory, the Mansfield Reformatory, and they have some of the original art in there, and then they have some of the stuff that was used in the Shawshank Redemption movie. So some of it's stuff, but they didn't cover over
They
anything.
cover it and repainted different.
No,
kind of
no.
bullshit.
There's still some of the art that was from the prisoners, and then there's
All
some
the
of the
Jesus.
art. Yep. And I call it what was it?
What was it? Jesus.
It was,
from a comedian. I know.
Yeah, it was
he had a thumbs up.
It was Fonzie Jesus.
Fonzie Jesus.
Yeah, because he had thumbs up. Yeah. So
Yeah.
no. It was finger guns Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because the Jesus looked like he was throwing out finger guns. So it's finger guns Jesus. If you ever go back and you can watch our Parasicon walkthrough video, and I actually I know it's one of the clips in there in the early part of that video where I go, finger guns Jesus, finger guns, finger guns, finger guns. So you can definitely check out the finger guns Jesus. That's our Parasicon video. And that actually, we walked through the convention floor, so you can see a lot of the vendors in that one too.
Yes. And some of them we said we skipped over because we didn't know them at the time. Please forgive us, Haunted Road Media. We didn't see you there, Mike. We didn't know you at the time. Anyway, I'm just apologizing. It was like, 2018 we went? And we didn't know Haunted Road Media at the time, and we apologize. I was looking through one of our videos, like, damn, I did pass by Mike. I'm such a dumbass, but I didn't know him. I apologize. Please forgive me, because I know Gwen knows pretty well too. But anyway, I think your mom has a story, but I'll read it for you.
I can read it real quick. I'm not on the Facebook over there, but I can definitely read it.
Go for it.
Okay, so she's talking about in the Nashville she's talking about is in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to live in Nashville, Ohio. We had a cemetery at each end of the town. Not the witch one, but the other one. There's some really old super headstones there, and people would knock them down all the time, and it would make her so mad, So and that's one of those things where even in small towns, where like people attribute small towns to like, country values and family values and certain things like that. But there are still, reckless kids who are going to terrorize and going to mess stuff up. It's not something that's only located in your inner cities or things of that nature,
That was another place that was heavily graffitied in town. Oh, it was the old Edwin Shaw, which used to be Springfield Sanatorium up in Akron up there, which is tore down now. It was heavily graffitied, and everyone throwing up their Instagram tags, here, do this, or rubbing some unknown substance on a wall look like shit. But
yeah,
why people?
Well, and over on the YouTube, Perfect Trust throughout, they were chased, and someone's mentioned before, and it scared the hell out of them. Found out later there was a bear with some cubs in there. So they were actually chased out of a location by a bear.
Oh, yeah. Mama bear was defending their cubbies.
Well, and that's one of those things is most bears outside of like grizzly and polar bears won't attack unless their area is infringed upon. Even grizzly bears, polar bears seems to be the only bears anymore that like actively hunt things out and search for them, Oh,
yeah. Tracy has a story. I grew up next to a cemetery, and as a kid would hike around the woods that surround it. There were very old wooden grave markers, possibly Native American, and when they expanded the cemetery, they just bulldozed over everything. Why? Why would you do that? That's someone's past, right? Someone, father, mother, whatever, history right there, and you're going to go... It's so sad how we treated these Native Americans. It's so sad. Like, we don't think twice about it. Or how they move a cemetery, and you don't think there's going to be repercussions.
Yeah.
There's going to be repercussions. Trust me, they're not going to be happy. You moved them from their original grounds where their final resting place is.
We were talking about the pendulum we picked up recently. We got the new one back here, the Mystic Eye. Perfect Trust was saying at the first investigation SBPI, a photo captured of a skull looking at them as while they were doing a pendulum session. So, that's amazing. Just imagine like you're doing a pendulum session, trying to get some answers, and then all of a sudden a skull materializes above you. That would be ridiculous.
Was that like an apparition? forming, probably,
Well,
or was
it was
just
a photo of a skull.
Photo of a
yeah,
skull?
I would love to. If you want to send that photo over to us,
Yeah.
we'll post it up on the Facebook and then link that to you guys so you
Yeah.
guys can get some attention for that. I'd love to see that actual picture though. It's amazing. It sounds like a wonderful piece of evidence.
And yeah, Tracy, that was seriously wrong what they did. And your mom says so sad. Charlena has another. This is a tore down now, but in Elliott City, Maryland, the old Catholic girls' school was vandalized. Creepy. Well, I'm pretty sure it was creepy. Someone had painted the Mary statue eyes with red paint, and the signs on the road leading up to the school had 666 painted, but only showed when their car lights hit it. The high school my friends and I broke in it was cool. Dogs were chained on site to keep people out. It was off Seven Hills Road. Ooh, it's like I heard of Seven Hills before.
Yeah, Seven Hills is like 15 minutes away from us.
Well, that's Seven Hills.
Yeah.
She's in Maryland, but
yeah.
but that's why I thought of that because Seven Hills. That's wow. And we've seen a lot of that too. The old Edward Shaw, which is now tore down. This way to end of the world. This way to hell. 666 painted on all the signs. Okay, cool. We get it.
Well, it's funny because like we talk about the pentagram sometimes, and like we know the properties of the pentagram.
Yeah, we haven't.
And it's funny like how many people just throw inverted pentagrams everywhere they go. Like, oh, look at me, I'm so edgy.
Way to be original. Yay.
You got it, dude. You're cool. Why don't you throw like 666 and a penis on there too, and you've got it all figured out, man.
If you drew it big enough. But anyway.
Compensating for something, right? Oh, man.
Oh, Jesus. Wow, we're going to get in trouble. Oh,
Charlene, got another story?
No, that was
Oh, okay.
Leo, wasn't there somewhere in Old Brooklyn, an old Indian ground cemetery? I do think so. I have to look into that too there, Leo. But you make it. They tore down an old cemetery as well. There's a lot more of them. Oh, she already shared it. Well, we'll show you. Tell her thank you. I got it on the messenger.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you so much for sending that over. And we'll share that on our Facebook, and we'll make sure we tag you guys in that.
Yeah, we'll go tag you there. This was in the late 80s when metal was being attacked as satanic. It was an odd time. You had that list that you always brought up. Oh, what is it? The old. I'm sure people get a kick out of that haven't heard it before. Now that Charlena mentions that.
All right. So
here we go.
I have a booklet, and it's like stuff they used to hand out in the 70s and 80s, and it was like handed out in police stations and that stuff, but some common signs of deviant pagan or satanic practices, and this one was just called Satanism. Now, we're only going to talk about one part. I've gone over it a couple of times in episodes, but we're going to talk about the songs. If you listen to these songs, you practice Satanism or paganism, and you were definitely looking at the devil. So these are the songs they had as a list on there. I'll go through them all real quick.
Yeah.
First one, pretty obvious. Bark at the Moon by Ozzy Osbourne.
Good song.
Second one, Altar of Sacrifice by Slayer.
I heard that one.
Third song, Suffer Not the Children by Venom.
Oh, yeah.
Fourth song, Possessed by Venom. Fifth song, Devil's Eyes by Merciful Fate. Sixth song, Into the Coven by Merciful Fate. Then seventh song is Black Funeral by Merciful Fate. And then number 8 is one of the most obvious ones. Like, obviously, it's about the devil. The Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden. Like, obviously, that song.
That's a good song.
666, the number of the beast.
I know, but it's such a good song.
It's an amazing song.
Fuck yeah.
That whole album. I mean, like,
album,
Hallowed Be Thy Name is my favorite song. But number 9 is Bad Omen by Megadeth. Number 10 is The Conjuring by Megadeth. Number 11 is The Skull Beneath the Skin by Megadeth. Number 12, The Evil by Bloodfest.
Yes.
Number 13, Tormentor by Wasp, and we've talked about Wasp before.
Yes.
Number 14, Highway to Hell by AC/DC. You know, it's like, well, that's really not.
We were just listening to AC/DC today.
Highway to Hell is not anything about Satanism or anything.
No.
It's literally just talking about like partying and those kind of activities that like would lead you to
Back
hell.
then, they think it
So
was
it's like partying, sex, drugs, and like like cocaine and probably shit like that.
Drugs and rock and roll.
So Holy Hell by Possessed was number 16. In the Beginning by Motley Crue was number 17.
Mhm.
Council for Cauldron by Lizzie Borden was number 18, and The Oath by King Diamond was number 19. So those were songs that apparently if you listened to those back in the day, you were considered potentially being a Satanist.
Tracy it's a shame people can't play their MP3s backwards to get their satanic messages.
You can, actually. It's really easy to do.
Oh, see, he's a tech whiz.
It's really simple to do. Actually, I have a program that does it.
I lived in the 80s. Yeah, same here. Go straight to hell, Tanya says, I guess. Joe says, I remember that stuff. And Ann says, I remember that music. Yeah. I guess we all worship Satan back then if we listened to this music. Not. Come on. No.
Oh, and Perfect Trust said that and if you play the songs backwards, Satan will come and make you breakfast.
I like bacon and eggs.
I like bacon and eggs. French toast, you know.
Let's go.
Make sure you add a little bit of milk to the eggs to give them that fluffiness too. You know, I definitely like that. So Satan, you better get it right.
A little of the hot sauce, make it hot.
I don't mind a little bit of spice, yeah.
We need to check that out.
I mix ham into my eggs, then throw some like cheddar on top too.
Now we're talking food. Stop making me hungry.
Yeah, I mix it up. You know, I'm cooking up.
Yeah, I mix up. I usually eat a light breakfast, not too heavy. But anyway, Leo says we need to check that out. Yeah, I mean he's a tech whiz. He probably can he figured ways out of a lot of stuff. And this is why
I've literally grown up on. I'm almost 30 years old, and almost the majority of my life I've spent on computers. So I'm pretty good with them. Yeah.
Yes, you are. Oh, Tracy says I remember 8-tracks. Yes, I do. I remember my old friend's Buick. They used to drive me back and forth to school. He used to have an 8-track in that bitch. I remember that. I say, hey, you want to listen? What is this?
Hey, 8-track's not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
It's funny. I have more VHS tapes than I have DVDs, Blu-rays, or video games.
I used to. Baby's mom has stolen my shit from me.
Yeah,
that's a different story.
I have almost 100. I actually have over 100 VHS tapes. Yeah,
I used to have a good collection of movies, but someone took them away.
Almost all of them are horror, though.
Yeah, and she lets my kids watch horror movies.
Hey, horror is good for you. My mom started letting me watch them at a young age, and now I'm a crazy person.
What's it? Oh, Tanya says devil children, and your mom says I'm getting hungry. Charlena says I'm surprised Metallica I Am Evil is not on the list.
Am I evil? Yes, I am.
There was another Motley Crue song.
Oh, there's plenty of them,
Oh, yeah.
But what's funny is like, you don't see anything, like oh fuck, oh, what the fuck am I thinking of?
My parents have an 8-track built in their wall to this day.
That's fucking awesome.
Here's Joe, the joke. You had an 8-track. All I could afford was a 4-track.
God damn it, Joe.
Joe.
Get out of here. You're done. You're done for the night, Joe.
Are
You're
you
cut
drunk,
off.
Joe? What are you drinking over there?
That's hilarious.
What are you drinking, sir?
Oh, no, what is the band I'm thinking of? Oh, Children of Bodom. It was like an 80s metal. Oh, dude, okay. So like we can't play we can legally play less than 15 seconds. So
legally play.
We can legally play less than 15 seconds of a song. So don't worry. I'm not gonna get us in trouble.
Freaking deal.
All right, so this is Children of Bodom.
From hell to breakfast. Yeah, pretty much, Tanya. So yeah, Children of Bodom was around the same, like in the 80s and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure. Like, okay, let me look it up real quick. Well, yeah, I'm gonna read the thing. Charlena says, if you get a chance, a classic YouTube video is the Possessed Toaster. It was during this crap of a metal satanic. Hey, Charlena.
Okay, they were formed in '93, but still, that would have been the same time that some of these stories would have
That's
still
when
been
I
going.
graduated. Share me that one on my the messenger there, Charlene, and I'll go take a look at it. That'll be funny to watch. That one deserves a shot, Joe. I'll remember the drinking game with Joe. How many? Well, if Joe makes a joke, everyone's got to take a shot or a drink, and I already took my drink, so. Good old Joe.
Joe can make his own drinking games too, because man, that guy is hilarious.
That guy is a.
It's funny because I appreciate so many of our consistent followers for their different various things. Joe's such a jokester. My mom, she always is providing good stories and stuff, and she's just very consistent with a lot of stuff. We had Belinda, who's always just been so nice and so like concerning and appreciative of everything.
She was there from the first day. She was the only one.
Exactly. Like Tracy's been so wonderful throughout a lot of this stuff. Tanya's been recent, but been wonderful. And like. Even Junior Leo's been really great, even though he doesn't really necessarily believe in a lot of the stuff we talk about. And we don't believe in everything we talk about.
Joe wants to learn. That's why he always joins us, but he's turned into a great guy and jokester and kind of a moderate.
Anne's been here for a while, and I see she's still commenting in the chat and everything. It's so wonderful when we talk to all you guys about all these different subjects.
Tanya and Tracy said Headbangers Ball.
Oh, Headbangers Ball, yeah.
And
MTV's Headbangers Ball was like one of the best programs they ever had because it had such good music, And I didn't watch it as it aired, but I remember it was in syndication when I was like younger in school and stuff.
Back when MTV still had music.
Yeah. What's that anymore?
What is that?
Reality TV shows and stuff,
Oh my God. I was like, I look forward to the music videos sometimes because sometimes even when I was stationed in the military, I would turn on because we had just a couple basic cable in our dorms. And I turn it on in the mornings and so before I go to work. And they had some good music in the morning, some good music videos. And it's like, fuck, that's ancient now.
They still had a little bit when I was in school, not high school, but when I was in like elementary school and junior high, they would have like TRL and stuff like that, So like there was still a tiny bit whenever I was there, but whenever I got into high school, MTV didn't have like jack shit for music.
Even they said, "Oh, we're gonna move everything to MTV2." Then MTV2 got taken over,
and it was garbage. It became even the worst of the shit they had,
It turned less into music and more bullcrap. I mean, there were some good shows out of that. What am I thinking of? That one dude that we used to watch a lot up there. That he had his own show. He showed those videos that people got kind of hurt but didn't die. Oh, what was his name? He
Ridiculousness.
Ridiculousness.
Yeah, with Rob Dyrdek. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember Robin Pig and stuff like that back in the day. Those are pretty funny. Rest in peace to Big Black. He's passed on and everything like that. But Robin Big was my shit back in the day.
What was that factory before?
Fantasy Factory.
Factory. I mean, there was some good things.
He had Robin Big. Then Fantasy Factory, and then he had the Ridiculousness, and then
Ridiculousness.
Christopher Boykins is passed on. That was Big Black and everything. Yep. I was a big fan of that growing up because I was very young when it came out, and I skateboarded a little bit, but I was never actually very good. So
I tried it a couple times.
We have our skateboards down in the garage. Actually,
we broke our noses, and that's why I went to BMX bikes. I said, "Screw this! I like the bikes better." I tried it. Because one time my friends built this homemade ramp, half pipe. So here, try it. Fell on my face a lot of times. What the heck?
It's my buddy. I can't show it on camera, but he's got a filter on. Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, look at that. Sorry, my buddy sent me a funny video of him.
Oh, it's been a good night so far, guys. Go ahead and keep it. Let's keep this up. Let's keep it going. Stories or whatnot, or you just want to shoot the shit. We don't mind. We can shoot the shit for a while too. But I'm
gonna ask my buddy if he's got any ghost stories.
What is music videos? Joe says the good old days. That's the link for the folks in the chat. Oh, Headbangers Ball. Man, I missed that so much. I miss when MTV was MTV. And the original MTV. Oh my God, those are days when they put a lot of time and effort into those music videos, man. Do they really do that anymore? I mean, they do some music videos, but not to the extreme like they used to. Sorry, thinking back in the past, guys.
Right now, I'm just asking my buddy if he's ever had an experience because he's one of those dudes who he's been around the block a couple times, and he's one of the most hardened dudes I've ever met. Like he's grown up in some pretty shitty neighborhoods. He's dealt with some pretty he grew up in inner city schools and like in Cleveland area, where like he definitely had to hold his own and stuff. So he knows some shit.
Well, I can imagine it's not easy in certain locations. Oh, your mom says, talk about skateboarding. Me and some friends would ride ours outside of town to the abandoned house that was so creepy, and it had a damn coffin in the basement. What? Did your mom tell you that story?
No.
Damn. Is that house still? I'm teasing. Is that house still there? Maybe, maybe not. Tracy says I was in high school when we finally got cable TV. MTV was the best thing ever. I mean, it was back in the day. It was the best freaking thing on there. Well, because I like my sports too, but I mean, I like my car shows back then, my sports, the creepy movies, any creepy story. God, I was like for everything. I was like, give it to me. That's when
I started watching movies, like horror movies, when I was younger, but like I was terrified of them at first. Yeah, my mom, like,
not that part though, but lucky you, maybe because it helped you.
Well, my mom babysat me through it. Like she would make me watch like the special features to see how it was made to like see like no, it's just a movie. It's just actors and like makeup and stuff like that, So like she would show me that kind of stuff to like help with the fear and everything. So then I became like super interested. And then when I got into high school, I just went nuts. I was like watching horror movies, like a new horror movie every hour of every night. I was just blowing through them.
My parents kept us so away from all those movies growing up.
My mom was very open.
I didn't blow up till after I left when I went in the military.
Yeah.
Then I was like, dude, they would not even let me and my brother watch Good Morning Vietnam with Robin Williams.
Which is a comedy.
Which is a freaking comedy. Oh, it has sexual innuendos. Whoopee.
Well,
or death sometimes.
My mom was very open-minded when I was younger. And then by the time I moved in with my dad, I was already in high school. So my dad worked second or third shift. So he didn't give a shit, Like it was like, watch whatever you want, like he knew we were watching like horror movies. He knew we were watching porn, like he knew we were playing video games till 2:00 in the morning some nights. He knew it all.
God,
but
because I was like 18 on my own, I did what the fuck I want. I did literally. I was in the military. I did what the.
I was like 15, living with my dad, but he wasn't home, and it was just me and my brother. And like we literally lived like just two roommates because he wasn't home most of the time, and when he was home, he was sleeping almost the whole time. He was active, like he would get home after we would already be off to school. So like we wouldn't see him at all until he woke up from work, left, and then he'd be like, all right, you guys make sure you don't stay up too late. And what we used to do is we used to make sure we appear our Xbox accounts off. So we would make it appear like we were offline at like 9:30, and we would be up till like 2:00 in the morning. Yeah.
Tracy says, stay out of basements with coffins. That's never a good sign, right? That's true.
Very true.
Ann says, I love my MTV. And Ty says, wow.
Oh, my buddy Balmer is typing a story right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, that coffin in the basement. Man, if I seen a coffin in a basement, I don't know if anyone's watched any like into car shows, but there's this one show on one of them that says Counts Customs. and he likes it. He's into that darker stuff, and he's also the singer of a band.
Yeah.
He likes into that weird and horror stuff. He sleeps in a coffin. He does. He feels more comfortable. He sleeps in a coffin.
I mean, it's a comforting feeling. Have you ever been in like some of those comfortable coffins?
I mean, I've seen them, but
they're like actually really well padded and like super comfy. You know,
you call them the count,
which is like weird because it's like you have no nerve endings acting anymore, so it doesn't matter anymore. You don't need padding.
Well, back then they just throw them in a wooden box and take.
Yeah,
you're in there.
You don't need padding.
No, you don't need padding. Hey, John. I know you premiered your video. I will watch that later. I'm looking forward to that video you posted up. He's another great guy. He just joined us. John, check him out. He also has a YouTube by the same name. Go ahead and check him out as well.
Dude, he's pounding story over here right now. Yeah, I'll wait till it's done. My buddy, he sent a message to us. It was a funny video. And then I asked him a question. He's just like telling a very funny story, or not a very funny story, but a very intense story right now. I'm going to let him finish, and I'm going to read it to you guys.
I mean, Charlene said you couldn't pay me to get in one. I know in some haunted places they see how long you can last in a coffin.
Well, and we've talked about the places in morgues, those things where they slide bodies into the wall, and it's literally just a rectangle box that's enough space for a body, and it's you're on just a flat metal tray. And if you were a person who was alive, the wall would literally be like this far away from your face, you know. And
see how long.
Dude.
No.
If anybody's ever seen, I think it's A Haunting in Connecticut. They have an intense scene like that where it's like the kid puts one of their brothers or sisters.
There was also a kind of a war movie or something whatnot where this guy ends up in a coffin and he's only got so much battery life in the phone and stuff like, and they buried him, and it's slowly ran out of air. It was a real freaky movie. I forget what it was, but they literally buried him with just one bar of life on a cell phone, and they kept calling and trying to find him, and finally it was too late because that is the worst fear of being buried alive. I could not even imagine. Tracy says it'll be very gothic, more of an escape room. It could be. It could.
All right, so he finished up the story. I'm asking him if he's okay if I can share it real quick.
I'm going to finish these two comments.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tanya says Robert E. Lee's mom was buried alive, and his dad had a dream that she wasn't dead and dug her up. We got The Vanishing. I'm going to have nightmares tonight. Chris, I remember that movie. Yeah, I don't know what the name of that movie is. If you could try to research, Google that, Tyler's mom. Okay, Tyler right now is going to share this story from his buddies.
He said he's cool with it. Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay. So my buddy Balmer, he's a little older than I am, and he's one of those dudes where he's been through a lot in life. You know, life's definitely kicked him around the rocks and everything. He's lived in some bad situations. You know, he's been homeless a couple times and stuff, you know, and he's definitely one of those dudes who, ever since I've known him, I met him about 5 years ago, and I've never seen this dude get rocked by anything outside of like something related to some of the family.
Had so much happened.
It's hard
he's built up
exactly.
Kind of an immune.
He's a very big dude too. You know, like he's not like super stocky, but he's a little bit taller than I am, or about the same height as I am, and definitely like he's built. Like he's been thrown around a little bit, and I know he had a rough childhood and shit, but he's not somebody to be easily persuaded. Like some people trust the legitimacy of like an ex-military, you know, like you're ex-military yourself, or a police officer or somebody of that nature. He's the kind of person who he was raised by the streets, so I trust his knowledge and I trust his knowledge. Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna tell a story from him real quick because it's something we've never talked about too much, but I'm interested to tell this. So I'm going to read it from his perspective. I grew up high in my house growing up. The attic's lights would do what they wanted. There were switches at the bottom of the stairs and up at the top where the bedrooms are. So they always chalked it up to that. But like you would think just flicker for 20 years. And every time it would happen, the whole hallway, they were the whole hallway, like from the top of the stairs down the hallway and down the stairs would get ice cold. So like if they would try to pass through that area in the middle of the night, it would actually get like their room was fine.
Right.
But as soon as they went to the hallway, the temperature would drop like 20, 30 degrees, and it would feel like there was a pressure on their chest the whole time.
Like someone's sitting, like an old hag.
Or something would be like constricting them or like pushing against them as they were trying to walk forward or something like that. You know, just some kind of pressure on their chest. And, you know, it was the whole hallway and all the way downstairs and everything. And as they would get to a certain part, so it would wait to them to get to a certain part down the stairs, and then all of a sudden the closets that would be in the hallway and the doors would start slamming. So the doors would start slamming, and you know, like as it would wait, like they had passed these hallways already, and it would wait and make sure that they were already to like the stairways to go down the steps or to the bathroom or something like that. And then it would start slamming as soon as they were past, to where they had to make the decision to either run downstairs, where who knows what's down there, or run back past the slamming doors to their bedroom.
Like a scene from Paranormal Activity. But
yeah.
Anyway.
And like I said, this is a dude who like, he doesn't give a shit about anything about like, you know, like making some kind of story up to like seem cooler or anything like that. Yeah. So I have no doubt that this story is legitimate, you know?
Man, that was wow. You missed the comment before the escape room comment. Can someone share that? Who sent that escape room comment or before that? We sorry we can't get through everything. I was trying to find it while Tyler was telling the story. Yeah, that was a good story.
Yeah, and it's interesting because me and this dude have talked about different stuff. You know, he's open-minded to a lot of stuff, but to have him tell me a story where like he was actually like legit scared, you know, he's not the type to get scared by much, you know, that's very interesting, you know. And thanks to my buddy Balmer for throwing out that story.
Thank you for the story. What's any comments over the YouTube side? I know we haven't checked that in a while. We apologize.
Nothing new too much, you know.
Maybe it didn't come through. Yeah, because I was trying to find that story. I mean, if someone can retype that comment, whoever's comment that was, we'll definitely get to it. We apologize if we didn't see it.
Okay, so Perfect Trust on the YouTube says, has to retype. Okay, the first investigation with BPI, this terrible smell fills the room. Some teammates are going nuts, smells demonic, only to discover that her husband farted. That is excellent.
Sounds like something Joe would. Sounds like you.
Sounds like if like I was investigating after having some of the dinners, man. Like before some of the shows when I let them rip.
Please don't eat Taco Bell before an investigation. Or
don't eat Taco Bell before an investigation.
Oh hell no! Don't
do that. That's such a good story.
Smells like sulfur. Sorry, I farted. Definitely. Even the spirits are going, what the heck did he just eat? What is that smell?
That's fucking hilarious.
If they can still smell, but you're probably chasing the spirits away. It's like, we
gotta go, guys. Sorry. Like,
go.
No. We can't talk to these guys.
We got demons coming out his ass. We gotta go. We gotta go.
He's got sulfur spilling out of that ass, you know?
Oh, Charlene says, I believe drug addicts are vulnerable to possession, and I don't doubt the drug house was haunted.
Yeah. And like my dude Balmer, you know, like he's known some drug addicts throughout the years and stuff like that. So he would definitely have a certain sensitivity to that kind of people, you know.
Well, that makes me think of the Malik House.
Okay, so like let's talk a little bit about the Malik House.
The Malik House.
Malik's house had people who had overdose deaths and stuff like that.
A lot of drugs, a lot of bad stuff happening.
And we investigated that house, and a presence followed us home.
Oh yes.
And it
wasn't
caused havoc in the house for about a week.
It wasn't necessarily demon, but it was definitely aggressive.
A negative presence, yeah.
Aggressive and negative. Not as much as aggressive, probably earlier, but it was very negative.
it caused some trouble though.
Yeah, it did cause some trouble. It was causing a lot of trouble. We appropriately cleansed the house lots of times.
Very much so.
And that kind of opened our eyes up more, and we kind of changed our ways after that.
Yeah.
We really did. It's like, okay, we got to really buckle down. We got to properly cleanse before and after and keep cleansing. Make sure, and even if
we
bring
cleanse
relics,
on a almost daily basis at this point.
Oh, yeah. And we even, these 2 relics from Jake, we actually cleaned those before we brought them in the house.
Yep.
Because
we keep things burning for the show.
Yes.
We keep things burning anytime we go anywhere, especially with like the pandemic going on right now, you know.
Oh, Tracy says, I was just telling you about a haunted house in PA that is in a 100-year-old funeral home. It was very cool. Where in part of PA do you live, Tracy? You told me this before, but it always slips my mind. It's hard to remember where people live, but he's over there sending pictures to his buddy. It's okay. He's allowed to. We're allowed to do anything we want.
I'm just thanking him for sending that story in, because
was a great story.
He just sent me a funny message and I asked him real quick and he provided such a great story real quick.
I know, even out of random like that. That's awesome. That is very awesome. Oh, Erica's watching. Bree Burkett is watching. Thank you for joining. The other people in the chat room can contest. This is a very freaking awesome show. We're having Follower Friday today.
Yeah, so any stories you guys want to throw out? We got a story from my buddy Balmer. You know, it was really great.
Oh, that's right, Tracy. I'm sorry if I don't remember exactly where you live. I apologize. That's right. She lives... I'm in Ohio, but on the border with PA and West Virginia. So she's right down south.
Well, that's a perfect spot to be, because you can take advantage of those taxes of I don't think PA charges taxes on clothing, and I know West Virginia, I think you can get cigarettes pretty cheaper if you smoke or anything like that. So
or even
there's certain
investigation wise.
Yeah,
you go
and the investigations
states,
are amazing. Yeah,
you can go to 3 different states without going too far. Oh, yeah, Tanya says, good guy. I'm near Steubenville and Pittsburgh. Okay, I got you. You're down further the southern, southwest, southeast corner of Ohio, I call it. On the east. Oh, you didn't turn your phone down. Shame on you. You'd pulling on me again. Come on, Tyler.
I was playing music earlier.
I know you was playing music, but I was good. When my mom moved over here in PA and they got divorced, my mom was dating someone else. We lived on near Allentown over there, Hatboro, Horsham, on that side of PA, not too far from Philly. They took me to. This is probably why the part I was so fucking scared, because they took me to this most, those haunted houses.
Yeah.
And it was they put it in an old house with a couple stories. It was creepy as fuck and scared the shit out of me. Then my mom's boyfriend at the time, before she remarried, actually found this rubber hand.
Oh, God.
And he took it.
Oh, God.
That I'd never been so scared in my life as a younger man, younger gent. But that scarred me for life.
Tracy was saying she does all of her school shopping in PA, and also she's been to Kennywood. I've been to Kennywood as well with my mom, Hope, who's actually in the chat before.
Ride some classic rides though. Kennywood is a spot.
Kennywood. Oh, I love Kennywood for sure. What me and my my old, like, I guess you kind of call him a brother-in-law in a sense, but his name was TJ. Me and him called ourselves the Front Seat Warriors. We rode front seat in every roller coaster or ride in Kennywood. So, yeah.
At the time, I took then she was 11, my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And that was her first roller coasters over there. She rode them like a champ.
Those are great roller coasters over there.
Phantom's Revenge. She rode that like a champ. That was her first big coaster. But she rode that one I forget it was called it's something rabbit, but she rode that because she wanted me and her rode first. It's right by the Phantom's Revenge.
Yeah.
She rode me and her rode first. He's like my cousin's like because he's older, he's like in his 30s, almost like your age. He's like my daughter's like, I'll ride with you again. She's a fucking trooper. And I induced her. Then the next time we took her to Cedar Point when she was up here, she rode a couple. It was hot that day, but she knew it's the 200-foot one.
Millennium
300,
Force?
the 300-foot one.
Millennium Force?
Millennium Force.
Yep.
And I kind of got scared because she's skinny. And me and
oh yeah, dude, it doesn't feel like it's secure enough for sure.
She was freaking out, and I had to put my arm. I was playing dad mode. Maverick is pretty secure, and I forget the newest one there with the one that stops on a steep hill. I need to get out to Cedar Point. Oh, Kennywood is fun. Been there, love it. Love the old school rides. Lots of stuff close to Kennywood. They do a pretty cool Halloween. Is it like Dollywood, a tribute to Kenny Rogers? Oh, I heard of Dollywood. I want to go out there sometime. I heard it's a pretty cool park. Oh, Jackrabbit. Yeah. My daughter rode the Jackrabbit not once, twice.
Well, and over on the YouTube side, Perfect Trust said, once all the virus mess clears up, be happy to take you guys around to some hot spots here. Sailors Creek Battlefield in Prince Edward County, Virginia is remarkable. So I would love to get out there for sure.
We talk about battlefields of Ben as well.
And any spot where we have a place to hang out and
Rick,
investigate.
Too. We talked with Rick because he wants to go up there. I was talking to Rick.
Exactly.
He wants to go back up and spend a few 3 nights up in Gettysburg. And do that. Oh, but yeah, Dollywood is cool. We used to do Kennywood last day of school when I lived there. I mean, I love Kenny. Something about Kennywood. I mean, I love my Cedar Points, but it's something about the nostalgic of Kennywood with all those old rides and how they kept them up all these years.
Oh, and they're so amazing about keeping up on that kind of stuff.
You cannot, because it's built on a mountain. And the way they put Phantom's Revenge going straight down a mountain, some of these rides you can't get that effect anywhere else unless you're in the mountain and have a park there. But that effect like there makes it feel like it's
or unless you have that Disney money and you can literally make your own artificial mountain,
Yeah, well, nothing like a real thing. Nothing like the real thing. Nothing like the real thing, baby. Oh yeah, Virginia. I want to get out there. Hollywood is.
And they said that can be done. They currently live on the backside of the Petersburg battlefield. So I would love to get out there to hang out with you guys.
We have a lot of plans once this gets out. Oh my God, Ben, Rick, now with Gwen.
I just want to go out there even with the quarantine, just because we have the time. Just do it.
Let's just go out there.
We'll all wear masks and be okay. We'll all get the really professional masks and we'll all look silly.
I have one coming up, but it might take a while to get shipped. It might be till
No, I'm talking about the full protective masks, yeah.
Well, I have this one coming in with the breathable thing, the filters and the carbon inside that goes nicely around the back. It looks like a Darth Vader.
Yeah.
The dark side man's protected though. Come on, look on him, man. Look at that dude over there chilling.
Hey, I got my own mask over here. I'll just wear that out.
Skeletons, Dolly.
So, do you guys have any more stories for the night?
I know.
We've been talking some of the stories.
We've been talking just a bunch of.
We've been rambling for sure.
Rambling and parks. I mean, see, we can talk about a lot of things, but we still keep it trying to the unexplained, the paranormal, the weird, the cryptids, the UFOs. The unexplained. I just said that twice, but yeah, it happens twice. Unexplained.
There's multiple unexplained.
There's multiple unexplained. To put it in a sense, yeah. Skeleton. But the Wendigo. That's what we were listening from Mike from Hunter Media.
Yeah,
the Wendigos. Then that they tell kind of a backstory why they thought that with the Native Americans.
When they often get tossed in with the skinwalkers because they have similarities, but they're definitely different creatures.
They're definitely different creatures. And it almost brings up like a point. They were like zombies. I think, that's where some of the zombie things. I think I've been out to that amusement park out in Williamsburg. Oh, what is that? God dang. I've been out close to Williamsburg before when my mom was dating that guy. We went on a big gold trip. The Blue Ridge Mountains are beautiful. You can virtually tour some of Colonial Road right now. Totally off topic, but thought that y'all might be interested.
I would love to, man.
Get out of the house for a weekend.
If I could, man, if I didn't have the little ones, I would love to do something like that. But just so hard right now to sneak away. I know my wife takes great care of them, and I know we got a house of people who take great care of them, but man, it's so hard to sneak away. I would love to get out to an investigation like that right now, especially with the time away from work, you know?
God, Williamsburg. I've been out to Williamsburg before when I was younger. And there's also the theme park down there too, where it's like the Europe. You go through all different times of Europe in this theme park. In the Blue Ridge Mountains. Oh my God. Now you make me really want to get out of here. Oh my gosh. Just the battlefields.
Well, and thank you guys so much for all the wonderful places and stories today. You know, it's been a fun night.
It has been a fun night, and
Yeah.
we're not even. We usually go for 2 hours, and we're only an hour and a half in. Cool. We got half hour left. Sure, we can come up with another form of stories and whatnot. Oh, Busch Gardens. That's right, Charlotte. Yeah, I've been to Busch Gardens out there in Williamsburg. Awesome area. That's when I was a young and scared of roller coasters. Now they don't scare me. I've been on everyone in Cedar Point, even the ones that are tore down. I made it my goal after my uncle died because he was big into roller coasters. That ride every roller coaster there in that park.
Yeah. You got to knock them out, man.
And I feel proud that I rode a lot. Even the stuff that ain't there anymore, I rode. Even when I was you know what I was scared of back then? It's kind of silly now that I think about it, is the Iron Drag getting to Cedar Point.
Hey, man.
He took me on there. And
now everybody's afraid of like the Top Thrill dragster. And I'll tell you what, the Top Thrill dragster, it's literally like one quick rush of like, oh God, I'm pinned to my seat. Then you're like, ooh,
oh God,
and then it's done. It's so quick. It's like banging a guy who hasn't had sex and it's like you're in your early 20s, you know? It's like it's that quick, you know?
Oh Jesus. But I was a dumbass and wore my beanie there. And all of a sudden
you didn't have that beanie afterwards.
No, I still had it. It fell like looked like I was doing this on the way up. I was like, look like this because I was holding my hat. It went over my fucking eyes. By the time I took the beanie off, I was on the other side falling.
Oh God, that's great.
I was like, God damn it. No offense to anybody, but I was so pissed that my dumbass wearing a hat on a fast ride like that. Come on.
That's fucking hilarious.
Oh yes, Tracy. I've been at the Kings Island, and it is supposed to be haunted. You want to? Excuse me. No, I'm not drunk. Yeah, Kings Island is supposedly haunted. I've heard about that as well. Do you ever? Charlena says, "You ever wonder if some of the parks are haunted? Accidents happen and people die there." Well, roller coaster are about the safest thing, but I understand there's a couple of those dumbasses.
Well,
but
the big thing with roller coasters is you get in that situation that happened, I think, like about less than a decade ago, where the kid who he jumped over the fence to get his hat.
His hat.
Yeah, it was his hat, and he got decapitated.
Yep.
And it was unfortunate because he was young, you know.
Because
he was in high school age.
Those fences are up for a reason, people.
But yeah, and that not only did it kill him, but it hurt all the people that were there with him, and it hurt anybody who was on that ride who had to deal with.
Now,
oh my God! While we were riding this ride, a person got decapitated.
I don't know. Speak, Charlena. You know that old merry-go-round in front of all the classic horses.
Yeah.
In front of Cedar Point. They say that's haunted. Then those turnpike cars that go that horse race that goes really fast. That's in there.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be haunted as well in Cedar Point.
Oh,
Yeah, because there might have been accidents happen back then. Or we talked about this earlier. When you die and you had great memories in a certain location, would you want to go to that location?
Yeah.
And talk about how long Cedar Point's been around.
Like if I were to die right now, I would watch over my children for the majority of the day. And then in the night, I would probably hike through all my favorite trails around Ohio,
And
because I'm a spirit, so it doesn't matter. Walking through the night, there'd be nobody out there, and I can experience nature at like
just
its
like
most
we talked
active.
about the Jade Abandoned Railroad Bridge. Look how tranquil and peaceful it was out there. There was still a certain energy out there, but it was peaceful.
And Perfect Trust was saying they also have a photo from a place in in Virginia called Cabin on 360. Very active location. A pic taken the day after I said something grabbed my leg. Sure enough, fingertips brushing. So that's amazing. And again, we'd love to see that stuff as well, and we'll share it all, and we'll make sure to tag you folks in it as well, because we want to make sure we talk about, para unity a lot.
Yes, we do. Joe's cracking it up in the chat. I want to go to Busch Light Gardens. Tanya says, I hate roller coaster. Nope, my fear. Tracy says, Coors Light Gardens would be better, Joe.
Oh, man.
Tanya's like, God put my feet on the ground for a reason. I think I just think I like the rush.
I love our chat. That's what I love. I love our folks, man.
A lot of deaths at Disney, even while it's there, yes.
Disney is interesting because they're known for trying to cover up any deaths that happen there.
I know.
It's like there have been deaths and they just they make it disappear,
Oh, Ann says good night to everyone. Good night, Ann. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Good night, Ann.
I'm haunting the Spider-Man ride at Universal.
Ha!
Oh, here we go.
Dude, I want to go to Universal so bad. Me and my wife had plans on it for the coming year, but we don't know with things being pushed back so much.
I know. And the stepdaughter had one of those passes this year. And Cedar Point was going to celebrate their 150th year. It was going to be a big old celebration. And, well, the virus say, you know what? Fuck you. No, you're not. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Sorry, Cedar Point. Maybe next year. And, I mean, I understand these businesses got to run too. And even the ones that are like in the warmer weather are always open 365. You got to think how they're affected.
Well, and Cedar Point has season, so like they really suffer if they can't operate.
They got a couple parks down in the warmer climates that they still operate. Cedar Fair does. That's their main company.
Okay.
So they got a couple parks there. Probably not open, but they're probably struggling.
The COVID for sure.
People always sneak in ashes to sprinkle at Disney. Yes, this is true.
Well, because I'm sure people who love that location would
and
love
I'm
to
pretty sure people that go to Cedar Point do the same thing. They had a fond memory of the person they went with a lot there.
I can see that.
I can see that happening as well. It's right there in the beach or by the old Breakers Hotel.
Or just like while you're going on a roller coaster.
Yeah, the Breakers Hotel. That's the oldest building. And that arcade is still standing at Cedar Point.
Yeah.
Those are haunted.
I love that arcade there, by the way.
Oh, that arcade's fucking awesome. They have the theater above that. Go, but can't wait till this fire. Yeah, I know. We all wait. Investigating, going to these, but I know. Lamest pandemic ever where I live. It's kind of lame everywhere. No one is going there. We are grounded. This is true, Tanya. Yeah, this is
but
true.
Hey, just as much as it sucks, guys, just stay in and protect the people who
you're joining us.
You got to think about the people who don't have like who have like autoimmune system like failures and like all that kind of stuff, people who have whatever things prevent them from being able to get like vaccines and whatever things of that nature, so when you follow certain things, you protect a lot of people. I can relate because when my baby was born, We were not in the pandemic, but we're leading into it.
Leading to it.
Yeah, and then he wasn't able to get his vaccinations for a while.
Right away, yeah.
Yep. So he was technically very susceptible. So anybody who left our household and then came back in could potentially harm him in some nature. And luckily, he's now past that, and he's been able to get his vaccinations.
Yes.
And he's a healthy little boy.
Oh yeah, he's
but
a healthy big boy. Big boy.
He
he's got a great smile too.
We were a little worried at first because people didn't seem to take certain things seriously. So now
Tracy knows what you're talking about. She hasn't left my house since Patty's Day. I'm immune compromised thanks to MS.
Yeah, multiple sclerosis, I think is what she's talking about. I might be pronouncing that a little bit wrong.
I was scared for a moment too because I had to go for the hospital. Was this about a month ago? Almost a month ago now.
Because you were concerned about possibly having contracted something.
Where I was getting my vocational rehabilitation, it was bronchitis.
It was bronchitis,
God, damn. I even freaked out because they stuck a stick down my mouth. I freaked out a nurse. I had never seen a nurse jump so hard because I coughed and gagged.
It's scary, yeah.
It is. And I didn't mean to, but you got to stick it. And it's... Would I never gone to hospital just for a cough? No, I wouldn't. But I didn't know at the time, and I was protecting all these guys to make sure. But I was quarantined for a good 4 or 5 days up in a room. I didn't hardly come down just because we didn't want to get Wesley sick either, and or TT or nobody.
My daughter and my son are my world, and it's something that is less than 2 years old to me. It's a new feeling. But the moment my wife got pregnant with our first child, I've had a different feeling about certain things. And in a situation like this, I might feel certain ways about certain things, but I would never even attempt to put my kids at risk for that, And I just appreciate everybody out there who's like doing their part, and just staying in, only going out there for their groceries and their essentials. And, I know the financial times are tough, and I know a lot of people are dealing with stuff, but it's us sticking together and having these kind of shows like this and having a good time. It makes up a certain degree because it helps us keep entertained for sure,
Tracy says I had to run into Lowe's today. Not happy. Well, I still self on eBay because I have to make that money, but I always got my mask and since I used to be a mechanic. For the injury, I still got these rubber mechanics gloves where you just slip on. You can do oil change and stuff. They're still great protection. They're that black. I look like something out of a black cult when I wear these gloves and my skeleton face.
Yeah, you look like a bank robber for sure.
But I had to go to CVS, the post office, and of course we lived next to a Circle K, which is a convenience store. We got to have our drinks and. Yeah, then what I say after it's done is like I jumped right up in the shower and took a shower.
Yep.
Because I've been in so many places. I'm not going to I even washed all my clothes too today.
Yeah, I always after I go somewhere, I pop my clothes down here and just save them for the wash. And, I even boiled a couple things just to make sure they're okay because we're being safe.
I don't make antibodies to fight infection, bubble grilled. Not that bad, but close.
And Perfect Trust says, people need to realize this isn't about them. It's about the people around them,
Especially those people are protesting. Come on, people.
Yeah, the protests are very silly. And it's like people are protesting for things that it's like are not necessary at all. Like the amount of people who are trying to talk about like haircuts and stuff, like haircuts are okay. You're gonna be okay, guys.
I can shave my head, so it's okay.
And I can let my hair grow wild.
He's a wild man over here. Wait till there are teens. Yeah, he was talking about your mom says I haven't seen my pics of him yet. Of Wesley.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's my fault. After the show, I'll get you 1 or 2 or 7.
Or 800. I don't know. Anyway, that's a random number.
800 pics is a lot. 7's okay.
Yeah. As much as my wife takes them, which he's a big.
He was breastfeeding whenever she asked me earlier, so I couldn't send a picture.
I just doused myself in hand sanitizer as soon as I got back in the car. And I have my hand sanitizer, my little bottle in the car too. That's where I keep mine because I know when I do go out, I have that readily available. And I throw out everything like gloves or any. And I have these kind of wet wipes. It's like Kleenex but wet that wipe down the car. I even got the car cleaner stuff.
Like the arm roll or something like that.
It was like the one that doesn't make it not greasy. It just cleans.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking
I
about.
have that as well because I'm a car guy. I have cleaning stuff, and I thought of that. And my wife has it also. So my hair is gray right now. Don't tell. I got gray right here. Right here. And this was like less ginger. It used to look like his hair right here, but now it's getting
I'm going bald in certain spots, so that's why I grow my hair out.
Well, let's not talk about baldness, sir.
I'm sorry. It's happening already.
Maybe we got time. We can try hair club for men.
I'm actually thinking about trying this thing called for Hims.
Hims for Hims.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that too. I don't have the money for that. Yeah. Well,
I'm trying to talk Abby into paying for it for me so I can look pretty. And it's like, come on, you want your husband to look pretty? Yeah. You want the lion's mane to look great, right? She actually doesn't like my long hair.
I know she doesn't. She's like, oh, you were talking about cutting it. It's like,
I talked about it, but then I didn't,
Well, if you go back on our Facebook page, you can tell when he had shorter hair.
You can see me, yeah. You can see me with short hair for sure.
Short hair. Yes. And
I had it
trimmed beard.
Yeah.
Trim beard.
Well, the beard's not too crazy now.
No. You keep that pretty trim. I go between shaving and not shaving. The goatee is going to grow because I like my goatee. It's nice and long. It reminds me of ZZ Top. Mm-hmm. If anyone remembers ZZ Top, I'm sure some of you do. Tracer said, I think I'm going to keep it and stop the dye. I look kind of punk rock with my silver streaks.
Hell yeah. I can't wait for my shit to start graying up. I told my wife, I'm like, I'm wanting my stuff to gray up,
I love the different multicolors.
I want it to go completely white. I want to look like fucking Gandalf, after the dies and comes back Gandalf the White.
Yeah, because I got the multicolors going on right here.
That shit looks cool as shit. Yeah. I'm jealous.
Hey, man, that's why I don't want to cut it off. I don't want. Wife complains, I'm going to cut that up. No, you're not. This is me. I like stroking my goatee. Leave me alone.
Gives you something to do,
I know. Somewhere between the 70s and now I got old. Haha, the conversation is so off topic tonight. I know, but it's fun. It is so fun tonight. We
talk about so much stuff, and that's why Follower Fridays is just about interacting with you guys,
We got to shoot the shit once in a while. I mean, we got to still talk about all these other things. We still got many topics.
Dude, this dude and I have been talking for probably 10 hours today already. So we've just been bullshitting all day.
You've been bullshitting. I mean, if I didn't tell you this before the show, I was sleeping in a hammock.
And yesterday, after I was doing some editing and stuff like that, I went and chilled in the hammock for a little bit.
That thing is so restful in the house. People walking the floor, and it just silently gives you a little bit of motion where you just fall in the fucking sleep, taking a fucking cat nap or meditation nap or a drunk nap. I don't know. I wouldn't go drunk in there. I might actually fall off and hit the floor, and it's cement, so that might hurt.
Yeah, just a little bit.
We don't need no more injuries in this house.
I've been drunk in a while. I've been tipsy a little bit, but
Charlene says keep the long hair.
I'm thinking about it, you can actually look back on our old investigations and stuff.
Yeah. Even in YouTube videos, you can see.
I had very, very short hair for a while,
Oh, yeah. He was looking all tough and professional.
But the long hair makes me feel more connected with nature for some reason. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense, but when I grow my hair out, I feel calmer and I feel more connected with things around me, It's a silly thing to just think that hair growth could make you feel more connected with things, but it does. And since I was younger, and my mom can attest to this, I've always wanted long hair. I only cut it to, I guess in a way, conform or to appease the people around me. But I've always wanted long hair as long as I've lived, you know.
The longest I've gotten it, even in my high school days, was down to my shoulder. My parents said, "Cut that shit off." Well, give me a haircut, damn it.
And Paranormal Trust or Perfect Trust, I'm sorry, was saying, here's a thought. People have messaged me a lot about sudden surge in paranormal activity in their homes. Most thinks it's due to current times and loved ones reaching out. For me, I tell them the activity has been around, just people have not been still long enough to notice, you know?
Yeah. That does make sense.
Well, because you're so active in your life, you know, I'm the
Yep.
same kind of person where like I get caught up in my job, I get caught up in my own things like that. But when you have so much time where you're sitting at home and you're so sensitive and perceptive to the things around you, certain things are going to finally be able to make a message or make notice, you know?
I mean, there's been
I
a lot
definitely
of
agree with that, you know?
people are
Thank you so
noticing.
much for that.
There's been stories from everybody, even me in this house. They're not scary in nature, but they're probably protective, like watching.
Well, think
others.
about we haven't talked about this too much because it's something that unfortunately still saddens me. Um, think about after my companion Batman
Oh,
died.
Batman!
My
The cat.
I had a black cat named Batman, and he died very young. He was unfortunately only like 4 years old, I think, when he
Very
died.
young.
But he had a lot of worms and stuff that build up in his system because since he was born, he had been fighting off infection and he was susceptible to a lot of different things. So like the littlest things, the wrong type of food or something like that can make him. But after he died in this house we still live in, a lot of people had moments where they either heard him or like Abby's sister Bree had a feeling where he crawled about across the bed. Abby and I one night were both awake and we were cuddling up and just falling asleep, and she felt like something step on her, and then all of a sudden I felt his, like the way he would forepaw in, because he's always had this certain way where he would work around your legs, he would step around, you know. And yeah, it was a very sad, but like I think it was his way of saying, you know, like, don't worry, I'm still gonna kind of be around, you know.
The spirit animal. It's like your spirit guy, but he's a spirit animal.
Yeah,
He's
Batman
really,
was definitely one of my closest companions that passed on. The only companion that's a little bit closer is my boxer Alice, who's still alive, and she's protecting my mentor Wally. You know.
oh, I believe it or not. 'Cause didn't you say Batman was also a stray that you picked
Yeah,
up?
yeah. My mom actually remembers I picked him up on some her friend's property. You know, he was just kind of a farm cat.
Because that reminds me of the story when I lived in the trailer park. I don't think I ever told you this story, but one day I was walking because we lived in the back of the trailer park, and trailer parks have stray cats everywhere. But this, I went up and I saw this white cat, white with a little bit of orange, beautiful, and it had blue eyes, beautiful cat. And it's like I tried it. It's like I was like, hi, kitty, because every time I see a cat, I say hi, kitty, and stuff like that. But this one followed me from all the way from the front of the trailer park all the way to our house and stayed there for a couple of days till my mom convinced my stepdad to bring him in. And we gave him so many baths and so many fleas came off of him. And his name was Fleabag after that. And he was like one of those cats like Batman that was he only this cat didn't like anybody else. He would only come to me. He'd only come to me. And now I think about it, he was kind of my spirit animal back
Yeah,
then. Because he was a beautiful cat. He was skittish, always loses hairs when he gets scared and run off. He was a beautiful white, this white with a little bit of orange and blue, those blue eyes that like stare into your soul, kind of. But yeah, then he passed away, and I was very, very sad. So I know what you're talking about, man.
yeah.
Because some animals just attach to you, and they're
Well, and it
like,
was funny because like I didn't really like want an animal at the time. I was living at an apartment up in Lakewood with my one roommate, and I was down camping I was camping for a weekend on my mom's friend's property, and he was living on the property, And by the end of the weekend, I'm like, I'd grown attached to him from just hanging out the fires and stuff. And he was like hanging around me a lot. And like he tried to sleep in the tent with me the one night, and I'm just like, oh man. And I came to the end of the weekend and I asked my mom's friend, I'm like, hey, can I take this cat home with me? He's like, yeah. So I text my roommate and I'm like, hey, can I bring a cat home with me? And he's like, yeah, it's fine as long as you get it like, like declawed no, sorry, not declawed, wormed and neutered,
And neutered, yeah.
And I kept in my room for like a couple days and then I went and got that done. And then he became like my best friend for the longest time,
And it's funny how some of these animals attach to you, or they just like your story and my story, how they just follow me home. And this cat, this Fleabag, that's what we call him. Beautiful cat. We call him Fleabag. Just like you call yours Batman, I call ours Fleabag.
Well, I didn't actually pick the name.
Oh,
my mom's friend, because he was an all black cat, but he had a small white insignia on his chest that kind of looked like a bat. So my mom's friend called him Batman, and the name stuck. And I'm a Batman fanatic, So whenever I came down there and they told me the cat's name was Batman, obviously I was like attached to him all weekend. And then it came to the end of the weekend, and I'm like, nope, this cat's going home with me, Yeah, but I see another story in there real quick. Why don't you go ahead and
oh, just one more little thing. Well, because my mom had 2 other cats.
Yeah.
And sometimes the other cats break out. Fleabag would not go outside. It's like, I already been out there. I want to stay in here.
Yeah, I'm down with this,
I'm down with this.
I'll be right back quick.
Okay. I'll read that story. Batman was a little guy. He found you. Yeah. Tanya says, I have a ghost cat. She 16 and never got to say goodbye. And Tracy, I'm not worried about paranormal activity where I live because according to my neighbors, it was a very nice old couple that lived here before me. If we want to continue to hang here, they are welcome. See, not everything is mean or demonic or negative. Yeah, we're all cat lovers. We miss our cats. Charlena wants to know what the yellow button is on your hat when you come back. Charlena says, I'd be lost without my cat. I don't even want to think about it. Yeah, it's very hard between me and Tyler. Yeah, I miss those guys. I even miss his. I didn't get to see Batman for very long, but he was a cool cat. He was a rescue too, abandoned by his mom in the run. He fit in my hand when the bottle fed him. Had him since 2008, and still ornery as ever. He acts like a kitten. Isn't it amazing how it depends on the situation, the animals pick us and they can sense that. It's like, oh, yeah, I want to stay around with this guy or girl. It's amazing how these animals have so much a sense for that and stick around and just want to be by a certain person or acts better around a certain person. It's just amazing. It's like we have spirit guys. We have spirit animals. These spirit animals stay around with us. And they have spirits too, just like us humans. And they can stick around for a while. She wants to know what that yellow button is on your hat, sir.
Oh, it says UFO or flying saucers are real. And Chris has got one on his hat that's a white one, but they both just say flying saucers are real, actually.
Yep. Flying saucers are real. Mine's just a white version. A little bit different, but same. See, we talk about all kinds of stuff tonight.
We talk about all kinds of stuff almost every night.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So I like this. We'll keep the Follower Fridays for a while because this is awesome. I like this tonight.
Yeah, we'll mix up the Monday and Wednesday shows, but Follower Friday is going to be consistent.
Yeah. Yeah, we mix them Monday and Wednesdays because we really try to give you. We always try to give you good content, but Monday and Wednesdays we really try to give you different stories and what.
One of the things on the YouTube was Perfectly Trust was saying, highly advised for people to welcome any communication. It's a blessing. Share someone's experience. And also, visits from the past for babies are wonderful. They're letting you know they're okay, you know?
Yeah, man, we've run into, even here, almost every cemetery you go to, even that one that's lesser known, had a little child buried in it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, children pass sometimes,
They
and
do
like
pass away.
it's a hard thought to think about.
But I always hope they've like found another life. If they do, if they didn't, it's sad if they didn't. But I hope they had a chance to live as someone else.
I definitely agree.
Hope they had a chance to live and experience life.
Well, life's a lesson, you know.
Life is a lesson.
And they say life's a school. You know, an existence is you learning things, and there's a theory that your soul is actually putting you through existence to learn things, so it can.
It's like always
makes
learning.
it can make himself ready or make itself ready for the next existence. You know.
Yeah. Tracy says my uncle was sitting on a sidewalk eating lunch, and a dog wolf walked up, sat next to him, and never left his side. Animals find us.
Yep. And that's why I don't. I mean, let's talk about that real quick. Animals finding us. You know, Kerma, my turtle.
Mm-hmm.
We were just hiking one day, and we noticed a lot of cyclists. You know, and like some of the cyclists are those people who, for some reason, they ride on the cement pass, but they have those like really big wide tires that like are meant for like mountains and like off-road trails and
I
stuff.
don't know how people ride on that.
Yeah, but they're on cement pass and stuff. You know, it's like
why?
ride on the
What's the
appropriate
point of
trail.
that?
Yeah. Well, I found a red-eared slider turtle wandering across the trail, and it was literally like just this big. You know, it was the size of like, I don't know, like a 50-cent piece, maybe a little bit bigger. And Chris and I, like, we realized, like, oh shit, we probably should get this more safe. Well, trying to get it back to an area of water, we realized it was like far away from water.
Oh god, we were far away.
So we ended up just taking it back to the house, and Kerma is living upstairs now.
Got own little aquarium, little environment.
And I'm building a new one for her soon, you know? So
about that big now.
Yeah, she's very, very big now.
And
you
she
know,
used to be.
Yeah, she used to be the size of a little bit bigger of a 50-cent piece.
Yeah, she fit in my cup holder when we took her home.
She was in the palm of my hand, and now like she can fill my hand. You know,
right? She's a big girl.
So yeah, people or animals find you. You know,
they do. Just like kind of like Brownie.
Her soul, you know.
Yeah, she died last year. Poor little thing. She was young too. And we went to my buddies that I used to live with before I met Jen. They had all the cool stories and whatnot. He's an older Joe. He also DJ'd our wedding.
Yeah.
But he loved rabbits. So one day it's like, hey, you want one of these rabbits? You can pick one. Then I was like, how about that?
Oh, real quick. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
Perfect Trust said good night for the night. So
all right, good
definitely
night. Thank you for
joining in.
Check them out. Perfect Trust Productions. They're on YouTube now, Facebook. They got great episodes coming up on YouTube. They used to be on Amazon. They're having problems, so now they're putting it on a YouTube channel.
Okay.
Of their episodes from season 1.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you so much.
But anyway, short story short.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry,
I chose the Brownie, and that was her name given too. There's like, here, okay, we'll show you what she does. I mean, no pun intended, but she actually put her upside down her back, and she played dead. It's like, oh, that's our bunny. That's our bunny. We brought home a bunny. I didn't even ask a wife, though. But like you said, animals do find us.
I've always been, searching for my spirit animal. And then I sometimes wonder, like, wait, was I already, like, showing my spirit animal? I just didn't interpret it properly, you know?
Well, I have a thing for the cats, too. So cats, I sense...
Well, cats are companions, but I don't feel like that was my spirit animal, you know?
Yeah. You were talking about, like, Alice. She was here for a little bit.
Yeah.
And she followed you around.
Well, Alice is one of my companions, too, and she's one of my oldest companions because she's still living, but
she keeps
Wally. Yeah, she keeps Wally in check and everything. Yep. And I've had Wallace or Allison, I think since like 2010, 2011. So she's about like 10, 11 years old. She's getting up there in
She's
age.
getting up there. Yeah, she is.
She's over a decade
she's an
old.
old girl.
But
was
she's a
good
wonderful
girl.
dog. She's a boxer, and she's
Oh,
just the most wonderful dog
she
ever.
was. And when I was watching her for her, she listened to me too. I mean, she was a good girl.
Yeah, she's pretty well behaved. She's energetic, so it's hard to calm her down sometimes.
Well, yeah, and she'll give you that look if she's been outside too long. That looks like, hello, I'm outside too long.
I need to come inside.
Now,
I need to chill.
I need to lay down on this blanket. Charlena says, I read a book about reincarnation and that the author stated one of our lifetimes is equivalent of 2 weeks compared to how old our souls are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just imagine that, like if your soul has been through, in the way we frame time, say like 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, say like 10,000 years old. Yeah. An 80-year-old lifespan, which is the like 60 to 70 to 80-year-old.
A couple of weeks.
Yep, exactly. It's nothing in comparison to that. I am so I'll talk about this a little bit right now. I experience panic attacks due to death, would probably be the best way to put it, but mostly not just death but non-existence. Sometimes I let my mind drift a little bit too much, and I'll start thinking about the possibility of once you pass on just being nothing, not existing, there's literally nothing, once you die, it's nothing. I unfortunately
I'm getting older and it comes.
Yeah, and I unfortunately experience pretty severe panic attacks. I've found my ways to work through them, but I start contemplating certain things, and it's not a fun thing,
Yeah,
and I hope anybody who has experienced anything like that has found their ways to work through that. Also know too, I believe a lot of wonderful things about death too. Like I believe in a lot of theories and about a lot of I entertain a lot of ideas about death. So it's like I'm not a negative person or a hopeless person in that area. But sometimes there's those thoughts that creep into your mind that just and unfortunately I had a panic attack today that was pretty severe related to it, and it was not a fun time,
I want to add to that because we do a fair amount, or I do too, a lot of cemetery girls. There's this one thing I always said. It's sad if you're not remembered or die alone. It's a scary thing.
And I think that's one of the biggest things is people don't want to be remembered. That's unfortunately not where I'm at. It's unfortunately just the thought of once I pass on, that's it. That was my run. That's
scary.
It's a very, very the thought of just once you pass on and to be blank and nothingness and not existence and what you were, what everything you were was nothing. It didn't matter. Like that's one of the most terrifying things I've been unfortunately thinking about that since I was like 5 or 6 years old. So it's over 20 years of just thinking about that, and a day like today was one of those reminders where I haven't yet gotten over that. As much as I explore the paranormal, I explore, religions, I explore magic, I explore all these different things, I still have that baseline fear. I also think it's kind of a driving force, but it pokes at me,
And, having that traumatic injury close to, it's scary because I don't know, because it was kind of scary for you guys because it was over speaker when you're coming back and dropping off pre when I called. And you can tell the tone in my voice. It wasn't pleasant. I was scared. It was scary shit.
And we didn't know what was going on exactly whenever you had that accident.
It was a lot of fear and panic.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was scary. It was like, wow, am I going to, after I passed out, I have the ambulance up to the hospital. I'm like, Am I going to come back? Am I going to make it? Did they stop it enough where I'm going to make it?
Yeah.
Because oh my gosh, it is so scary. I mean, even lately I've been thinking about what you were saying. I was thinking about that, and should I make a will already?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's terrible because you experienced a traumatic accident, and we both had our array of issues. We've talked about them a little bit on the show and everything.
We did talk about
but
the fear of death and the existence
and why we believe in and why we pursue some of the things we do.
Keep an open mind to it, because keep an open mind helps our own minds to an extent. We want to keep an open mind to all the stuff we talk about, especially maybe in the reincarnation or another existence other than our physical bodies.
Let's talk about reincarnation for a minute. One of my favorite movies to watch with my daughter is Moana, and in Moana, the grandmother of the main character dies, and she's reincarnated as a big manta stingray,
Mm-hmm.
And
yes,
the idea, and she chose that in her life as a human. So the idea of being able to choose your life you pass on to is an amazing concept, being able like, so let's toss this out there real quick. If you could choose the creature outside of being a human that you were reincarnated as, if you died, what creature would it be? I'm really interested in a lot of different things, exploration wise.
Well,
so I'm going to choose a creature that tends to travel around to a lot of different places. Oh man, what would be the best one for that?
I'm going to say I already know that mine, and it's related to my car out there. They remember that they used to roam the plains and whatnot.
There's still some out there, wild Mustangs.
Wild Mustangs.
I get it, dude.
Roaming.
That's definitely a wonderful creature,
going
for sure.
Fast. Having with your buddies. Go ahead and think of that. I'm going to read some. There's a lot of comments. We'll get to these comments.
My mom said she would want to come back as a bald eagle.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful creature, for sure.
I just like the fact of me.
I would want to come back as a crow, because I could still communicate and interact with people, but keep my distance and have my own world and my own communication with my own people, So yeah, I'm gonna say a crow.
That's a good one. What about you guys out there? Let me see. Let me get some of these. I don't know how far back I missed. We were talking about Rick. Okay. Have you heard of people having birthmarks that match the way that he died?
Yep.
Yes.
That's a very, very popular
I got one
theory.
right here above my.
One people say like
stabbed in the back,
stab wounds, any kind of intense marks like that. There are people who have been born with birthmarks that match animal bites and stuff like that. In the front and back. Yeah.
Mine, because it's got that weird shape, but it's like big enough.
Yeah, it looks like a puncture wound.
A puncture wound.
That's intense.
Yeah, I've heard of people having birthmarks. I have no birthmarks, so I think I'm new. Hey, you could be. You never know there, Tracy.
Well, and young souls, they're still. It's interesting because a young soul would be a lot more perceptive to a lot of things.
Your mom says the tiger. Charlena says mine's the crane. Tanya says mine is the cat. My first word was kitty. I think Terry is my spirit animal. Tracy says tiny, but thinks they can kick some big pit bull ass. Yes.
Very much so.
Joe says mine is liquor. Joe. Oh my gosh. Joe, something is so wrong with you. Oh, Joe. Always making the funny after. You're so awesome. And Tracy says, I do have some panic attacks. Tracy also says, I'm worried that once we die, we are still where. So do I want to be buried or cremated? What would be worse? That is a very hard question.
Well, my brother was cremated.
Your brother's cremated, yes.
I think there's a certain release in burning the physical body and letting the soul release completely.
Since I've been talking with you about that and seeing what you do when we go on our hikes and whatnot, and spread his ashes a little bit to different areas, he's be part of that. You're sharing him with where places we go, and I was like, I want that too. I'd love to be spread in certain areas that I used to go to or love or enjoyed, and
Yeah, I try to put
or
them in.
different places I've been.
I've
And
put him in the ocean. I've put him in different rivers, streams,
yes,
public parks, stuff like that. I tried to put him in places where he would enjoy just experiencing the nature. He was an avid hunter, fisherman, just explorer in general.
you can still. I've seen this in someone's video here in Ohio. There was like still like how people have those crypts and whatnot, but these was like boxes where you can put their ashes still in a certain area. And I'm sure you don't bury all your ashes in one place.
Well, I keep a lot of it, but I just spread certain
You
ones.
spread certain ones. You can still be buried somewhere with your ashes.
Yeah.
But still people can remember you or keep you or spread you out in all different parts of the land and nature and whatnot, or your favorite areas of the past you visited a lot.
And just be buried or spread out somewhere,
Charlena says the best proof I found is a dream or a place that is familiar that I have not experienced before. That moment is a memory of lifetime peeking in. I believe that. I think dreams sometimes bring us to what our past was, our past lives. Tracy says I'm leaning towards cremation because I hate bugs. I mean, you wouldn't feel it, but still, I get it. Just like you say, you wouldn't feel the cushion in your coffin because you're not alive anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think the only reason I think that is just because the nerve endings are dead,
Yeah, no one's gonna feel how comfy.
Joe said cremation, regular or extra crispy.
Extra crispy. I mean, we're both ginger, so we would be extra crispy.
It wouldn't take too much,
No, it wouldn't take too much. Charlotte, house cat spoiled. Happy is my choice. I'd be a big ass. Tracy's. I'd be a big ass buck and make some other poor asshole late for work. Nice.
Oh, you guys had some wonderful answers tonight. But I think it's about that time.
Is it about? Oh my god, yeah, it is.
Yeah. We're gonna get out of here for the night, guys, and we just appreciate you for hanging out for so long. The questions, the comments, the stories were so amazing.
We shared a bunch of stuff today.
Yeah, it's my buddy Balmer just for some history in all the different people.
Funny.
It was funny, but it was also like a solid story.
Solid story.
Everybody, we just appreciate everything. Have a good night, and we're gonna get ourselves out of here.
Yeah, we're gonna go nappy nap or sleepy sleep. Probably not in the hammock though, but I might toss some fall.
Yeah, you don't want to go to the hammock. Just go to your actual
bed
bed.
A couple times on a cement floor. It's not fun as a kid. But anyway, you have yourself a good night, guys.
Have a good night, guys.
We love you all. Thank you.